My name is Laura McKnight, and I'm from Thibodaux originally, which is like 60 miles southwest of here. And then I lived in Houma, Louisiana, which is also like 60 miles southwest of here. And then I moved up here to go to school, but I've been here my whole life, back and forth on the weekends and field trips and things. One thing I love about New Orleans, there's absolutely no... You can always find something to inspire you or write about. You can just walk around this neighborhood. I just walked in this coffee shop and we were talking about live chickens a minute ago. There's a live chicken in there, just walking around like it's nothing. And I asked, I said, is that y'all's chicken? They're like, well, no, it's just a neighborhood chicken. It just decides to come in here. And it's like, no matter where you go, like this is the orange couch. It's like, it looks like it's very, you know, typical coffee shop. And like you go in there and there's a live chicken. It's just every time you go somewhere, and I go a lot of places around here, there's just something interesting going on. A lot of times I think to myself, and I tell people, like, every time I go out in New Orleans I see something I haven't seen before, and it might be just something small like that live chicken in a coffee shop, but it's always something interesting, and it makes me want to write, and it makes me want to write about New Orleans. And a lot of my pieces tend to be set here, and New Orleans plays like a pivotal or integral part in what I'm writing. Well, I got to UNO because I love New Orleans, honestly. Like UNO, I wanted to learn more about creative writing. I was a journalist, so I've written nonfiction, you know, for years, but I wanted to kind of step it up and make it a little more literary, a little, you know, learn how to use different devices that you don't typically use in a newspaper article, like metaphors and similes and all that stuff. You know, you don't use that in a, hopefully not too much in a journalism article. I wanted to step up my creative nonfiction a notch or two, and I feel like the program here really has helped me. I chose UNO mostly because it's in New Orleans, and I knew I would love it here, and I knew I'd want to write here. I mean, how many writers have lived here and gotten inspiration from New Orleans? You've got Tennessee Williams, trying to think some others off the top of my head, but even Mark Twain, I think, has written about New Orleans. Like, you know, people come here and they say they don't have time to write because it's so entertaining that they just, you know, get their inspiration and go, but some of us can actually, you know, actually sit down and write sometimes. This piece is, I've read it a few times because it's honestly one of my favorite pieces, and it came about because my teacher Richard Goodman had moved here from New York City and asked us to write an explanation of New Orleans, or our description of New Orleans. And I'm just going to read like a little section of it, like a little paragraph about the heat. New Orleans is embracing the outrageous, including the outrageous wet heat of summer. It's deciding to just forget taking that extra shower because the minute you walk outside, your pores will erupt with sweat. It's giving up on that bit of makeup, the carefully ironed hair, the cute shirt that will only collect liquid beneath its sleeves. It's feeling that first rush of heat in the spring and telling yourself that really, you don't mind the summers here all that much. It's not that bad. It's telling yourself that in the summer, everyone looks kind of sexy, all steam hot and glistening, like every person is caught in the height of passion. It's hoping that the sweat marks on the front of your tank top, the hair damp and mashed against your forehead, somehow make you look tragically sultry, like some Southern Gothic princess, all angst-ridden and feverish, fresh off the streetcar named Desire. It's knowing that you may picture yourself as Blanche Dubois, but in reality, your heat-inspired scowl and struggling steps make you look more like Ignatius Riley.